everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today I have another Netflix exclusive review for you guys. I'm going to review a horror film on Netflix by the name of Cherry Tree Lane. Cherry Tree Lane, the plot is very simple. We have pretty much your classic home invasion film. We have a British family that's very dysfunctional. They don't get along at all. Their son is who knows where. They don't really know much about their son's actual personal life. Well, the thing is, three younger men come into the house wanting to target the British family's son, and their son, little do they know, is involved in some very troublesome things that later throughout the film you find out about. Very, very simple plot, right? Well, overall, my thoughts and opinions on Cherry Tree Lane aren't very good at all, really. I really wasn't too fond of this movie. It really just didn't have anything interesting in it, honestly. Though there are a few notable and decent things about it. So let's talk about some of the pros and cons of the film. Let's talk about the good things, the pros first. So one of the good things about the film is the camera angles that it has. Several times throughout the film, the actual beginning of the film, the first minute is just the camera angle of the door of the house of the actual British family itself, and that's it. The camera angle keeps getting closer and closer to the door, to the white door of the house, and that was kind of an interesting camera angle. And then from there, it goes to like a pot that looks like it's boiling water, and it stays on that pot for another good 3 or 4 minutes of the film. So the first few camera angles of the film are just like solid angles, and that's what a lot of the film is. Just a lot of solid angles that are like, fixated on things. So for the first, I could say 5-6 minutes of the film, all we're seeing is a door and then a pot. So I thought some of the camera angles of the film were just kind of, I guess you could say, interesting. I don't know if they were a great thing, but they were very interesting, and the least I could say, different. Some of the other camera angles in the film would have the actual husband in the film. Most of the film, he's like duct taped, hands and feet and mouth on the floor, and some of the camera angles only show like his head and stuff, and I thought some of the camera angles were actually pretty cool, so that's one of the notable things about the film. Another pro about the film itself was the actual actors that play the people that come to the house to terrorize and harass the British family. There were two, I'm pretty sure they're brothers in the film, two brothers in the film, and they seem to be like gangsters that are involved in drugs and, money and that sort of thing, robbing places. That's the kind of typical gangster men that you see in these kind of films. Their acting was really good. I thought they're really kind of, I guess you could say, the running force of the movie. The only really reason you watch this movie, I guess, is for them, because they actually had somewhat of a presence to them that the actual film itself didn't have. So the men itself, because one of the brothers is more of a compassionate gentleman. He doesn't really want to do these things. He's kind of just there because his brother is, or his cousin, whatever he is. And then the other man is the more, I guess you could say, the wrathful and the raging brother who actually wants to commit the crimes. He doesn't care about, anything. There's no compassion at all in him, so he just really wants to terrorize them, while the other one's very compassionate. So I really liked the, the 50-50, the complete opposite, personalities that both of the brothers have. There's actually 3 men that come to the house, but one of them you don't see throughout most of the film because he's off doing other stuff, while the 2 stay at the house most of the time. The British family themselves, their acting wasn't above average. It was average overall, but the 2 brothers really, I thought, stole the show in some scenes they were in, especially toward the one with the compassionate brother. And then the other one was pretty cool too. Some other decent things I thought in the movie itself was, I kind of thought the ending was, the last, I guess you could say 15 minutes was decent. It wasn't amazing, but it was a pretty, I guess you could say, a decent ending for a film like this. I will say that the film is the movie's only an hour and 17 minutes, believe it or not. For an hour and 17 minute film, it is a very, very, very slow moving horror film. Home invasion films usually are sometimes, depending on what the home invasion film is. But for this film, it's a very slow paced movie. And one of the problems with this film is, at times it's interesting, and at times it's not interesting at all. It seems like the film is trying to go somewhere, but it never actually get to that somewhere that the film is trying to go. It's like a staircase, it's trying to get to that certain point, but the film actually never succeeds in that area. It seems that the film was trying to certain points, and then other times that it just wasn't going much of anywhere at all. Several times throughout this film, I was honestly extremely bored, wondering when the film was going to end, because nothing was really happening. Nothing really interesting happens in the film. I mean, it's kind of just your typical home invasion movie, and I've seen some great home invasion films. Kidnapped IFC film, Mother's Day, Trespass with Nicolas Cage is another decent one. The remake of Straw Dogs is pretty cool, but home invasion horror-wise, this Cherry Tree Lane isn't one of those. At times, like I said, at times the movie is interesting, and at times the movie just isn't interesting at all. I mean, in all honesty, the movie is too slow to really go anywhere. I don't mind a slow burn horror film. Ty West, the director of Innkeepers and House of the Devil, he really does it best. But, for this kind of slow burn, it takes a little too long for me to even care what's actually going to happen next. And the actual last, 30-second ending, the last 30 seconds of the film, I really didn't dig that at all. It's kind of a cliffhanger. You kind of have an idea of what might happen unless, you think something else. But overall, Cherry Tree Lane, I'm going to go ahead and be generous, give it a solid 2 out of 5 stars. It had some decent things in it every now and then, but overall, it turned out to just be a really boring and just uninteresting horror film. One of the cons that I forgot to mention in Cherry Tree Lane is that, throughout the film, we are trying to find out, why the 3 men that came into the house are targeting the British family's son. And throughout the film, you don't really know this. I mean, it seems that, at times, the writing and the director is trying to mention why the 3 men are actually doing the things that they're doing. But, that really doesn't ever happen at all. We don't ever really find out the full details that we need to know with, trying to find out why in the heck they actually did this. So I didn't think, we go throughout this entire, hour and 17-minute film trying to find out exactly why these things are happening. And as an audience and as a viewer of myself, we have no idea why these things are happening. And the film, honestly, did an extremely, extremely terrible job at telling the audience of why these things happen. I was really trying to find out, why the son was being targeted. And here and there we're giving, a little hint of information here, another little hint of information here, but we're never really given the full description of the plot that we need. And for a film like this, it really needed an explanation of why these things were happening, and the film never really gave that. We just have a home invasion film that, honestly, has a few plot holes. So I really didn't like that much about the film either. And one of my main reasons for not liking the film was that reason. So let's see what the next horror title on Netflix is. So as you can see the picture of Cherry Tree Lane. And you can see the director and my 2-star rating and all that kind of stuff there. 2010 was when it came out and that sort of thing. So let's see what our next horror film is. I was really hoping Cherry Tree Lane would be a lot better. I had high hopes for it, but it didn't really deliver. Well, it seems that my next review will be... I think I said this on my other videos, but Hold Your Breath, which I know is an asylum film, and like I said, every time I turn this off, they like to get themselves in a different order, but Hold Your Breath, Hypothermia, 9 Dead, or maybe the Frankenstein Theory, those seem like they will be my next Netflix exclusive review. So once again, thanks for watching another video by Centipede Geek for my Netflix exclusive review for the horror film on Netflix titled Cherry Tree Lane. Once again, thanks for watching another video by Centipede Geek. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my page below, and I'll see you guys later with more videos by Centipede Geek.